All right, are we going?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to another episode of That's the Thing Accent Core Plus R. It is episode .08, and it is Monday, January the 18th. Happy MLK Junior Day, everybody.
Yeah. Good job, MLK Jr. You did it.
Yep.
You did a good stuff. More good stuff than I'll ever do.
How do you feel about the accusations that civil rights photos are intentionally turned into black and white to make it seem like it was longer ago than it actually was?
I think that's interesting. I don't huh. I think it's an interesting thing about like the use of black and white where on the one hand you could say yes it adds like a timely like it makes it seem longer ago, but I think there's also an element of it makes it sound more historically significant because
Yeah.
when you see a lot of pictures from back in the day, they were in black and white, so your brain kind of goes, "Oh, that means it's like history or like
Yeah.
historically significant."
But think about like your history books and like they didn't do that with any other period of modern American history.
That is true.
Vietnam's
Vietnam.
not in black and white.
That's true. Vietnam is not in black and white.
Obviously, they wanted to capture the beauty of the local foliage.
Yeah, they didn't. I didn't think about that. That listen. This is what the That's a Thing podcast is. It's about expanding your mind. We're asking the questions. We're putting the thoughts in your brain,
Yep.
letting them percolate, letting them percolate
Oh, and
around.
like, and as we are on this MLK Junior Day, he was born the same year as my grandma, who is still alive.
Oh, there's a bunch of wild shit. I think it was I don't remember who, but it's humans have trouble with big numbers once you get above like 20. Like
Yeah.
once you hit like above 20, your brain of what numbers are starts to fall apart. It's kind of like with years. 50 years ago was actually 1970.
Yeah.
like like this like in you're like yeah, like the civil rights was 50s and 60s.
60s and 70s,
60s and
I think.
70s. I want
Maybe
to say
50s
like
and 60s.
yeah, like
Still ongoing. Let's be honest.
okay,
Still ongoing.
still ongoing. But it's one of those things where, and I think that's where you're going with your black and white, where that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Like that's not world like WW2 was less than 100 years ago.
Yep. It took less than 100 years from the Civil War to a man on the moon.
Yeah, like it's wild, and I think it's one of those things where concepts of time start to get real wonky with people because
Yeah.
your brain just isn't equipped to accurately do it. It's it's
Yep.
it's why you have billionaires because your brain can't has no idea how much a billion actually is.
Yeah, you just like that's like a million.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot
it's
of
like,
money.
no, that's 1,000 millions. It's like,
Like it's one of the like you don't know. That's one of those things that is so much money you can't comprehend it. It's
Yeah.
literally cannot understand how big that is. And then you see some infographic where it's like that's enough money for like $1 bills to cover up the entire New York City in like a cube of money for 4 million, like Everest tall. And you're like, what
Yeah.
money?
Have you? There was a really great infographic that was just scrolling, and it's like, okay, here's how much $1,000 is, and you're just scrolling. Okay, that's okay. Here's how much a million is, and it's like, I've been scrolling for a little while now. It's like, yeah, you have. Here's how much Jeff Bezos is worth, and it just doesn't stop.
Yep. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's
It's
that's where that's where the money
yep.
is.
Yep. Every day he wakes up and decides not to cure world hunger.
Yeah, that's well, I don't. There's a lot of things I don't understand. A lot of things. But and one of my yeah, I'm don't worry, podcast. We'll get to Nicolas Cage fights the animatronics soon. That's
We'll get
coming.
to Nicolas Cage, Five Nights at
We'll
Freddy's.
get there. We'll get there. But I've always just been fascinated, and maybe it's my personality where at some point once you hit infinite money, like why do you need more money? You know?
Kevin, you don't get to be a billionaire by asking when is enough.
I know, but I'm just
You get to be
saying
a billionaire by having parents who own an apartheid emerald mine.
exactly. But for me, it's like if someone said I never had to do anything ever again, then I just wouldn't. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can play video games and spend my time painting tiny Warhammer models.
But it's also
that's all I do.
at that point you're rich enough where they're not actually doing anything to increase their own wealth. They've just paid enough other people who are actually making more money off of their money.
Yeah, they're cookie clicker in it.
Yeah.
You got the grandmas and they're making the cookies, so you don't even have to click the cookie.
Yep.
Let me tell you, that'd be one of my economic if I was an econ teacher. We'd have a lesson about cookie clicker.
Yeah.
I think you can learn a lot from Cookie Clicker in both like society, economics, and a bunch of shit.
Do you remember in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like the planet that had figured out basically how to solve its problems?
I do not remember.
So their planet is dying, and they designate everyone in the world as like one of three things. Either like the artistic types, the manufacturing types, or the like, ones who are middlemen.
Yeah, like the managers.
Yeah, like all that. And well, they send all the middlemen off first, so that way they can have the new planet up and in working order before the rest of everybody gets there. And then the other two ships just never left.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's how you do it.
No more middle management, no more telephone cleaners, no more insurance claims representatives.
God. Man, like apparently so my dad's been having my dad broke his arm because he slipped with a cat, and he's been having issues with that, but he's also been having issues with like he's getting to the age where you have to sign up for Medicare, like
Yeah.
and he's getting spammed the shit. Like he's getting like 3 calls a day of people trying to get him on their Medicare scam, like shenanigans.
Yep.
And he's like, good lord. And it's one of those things where it's like if I was the president, I would use all
God
my
save us.
yeah, I would use my military to go after those people trying to scam old people's Medicare. Like, fuck them.
Seriously.
Fuck them. We got these drones. I'm going to use them.
Yeah, really.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, some guy
Like,
in some...
Inu Yoshiki, but instead of like 2chan posters, it's insurance scammers.
Yeah, because they're literally trying to scam old people out of their medicine.
Yep.
And what are you going to do? Get out of here. But then, you could also make a one of those arguments of saying, well, why have you helped to foster a system that encourage old people getting scammed out of their medicine? And I would say, I'm not very good at being a president.
And that's when I say I ran purely as a joke.
I didn't think this would work. I ran saying my Twitter ain't gonna get banned.
That's my one promise as the elected official.
I like the worst thing you're gonna see is me being weirdly horny for that new Resident Evil 8
Tall lady.
big
Madam
lady.
X.
Yeah, Madam X. Who I think the funniest take about that was someone putting like the Capcom of like, oh man, like a big intimidating woman villain. It's gonna be so scary to people because it's like so
The 50-foot woman.
yeah, and everyone's like, I love it. And all the responses are just people yelling, "Step on me," or like, "Uh oh, she caught me again." Haha. Apparently, she has um, the pointy fingers. You know those pointy fingers. I can't think of the X-Men character that was like that fought Wolverine.
Oh. You mean bugles? She
Yes.
got bugle fingers.
Yeah, she has bugles. That's like her. That's what like her base power. Or she gets the thing. She has the star finger. Never forget the star finger.
I wanted Dio to use that against Jotaro in their fight.
That would have been cool.
Really, that's where Dio messed up. It's like same type of stand. That means I have
star finger. That would have been cool though. Like if Araki, because he like forgot about it or didn't want to do it, and then like you see like Star Platinum's hand like pointing his finger at Dio in the frozen time, and then Starfinger hits him, and he's like, "Ah, oh, hell!
Ah, fuck!" It's like, yeah, see, you didn't know your other ability.
Remember, yeah. Like it just has like a little text box. It says like, "You thought I forgot about this? Nah, you did. I never did. I didn't have two stands named Earth, Wind, and Fire because I forgot."
Dio didn't also have Hermit Purple.
Oh yeah, he did. He technically could do Hemon. He just forgot. Oh, that was really cool. Like when Joseph did Hermit Purple Hemon through Hermit Purple. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's pretty neat. Do you like Hemon or the spin better?
I think I like the spin better.
I'd like the spin better, but Hemon is kind of like it's the first one, so I'd give it some leeway. I just kind of like where the spin goes.
Yeah.
I like that you have to use like the golden ratio and shit for the spin. Like that's.
I also like that. Then it presents a problem later of. Yeah, no, my family's just the executioners. We're not like royal guards or anything. And then it's like, but see, that guy, he's a royal guard.
He's the one where if he hits you with his, you just lose everything on your left side.
He throws a ball that spins and then has other smaller balls that spin off of it.
Oh, that was cool. I still really love the fight where everyone's stand was that they have a teleporter on their back where they can all jump out of each other's backs. Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't even remember. It's been
a while. But it's just the idea that like a gang where they all have a teleport on their back where they can each teleport out of each other's back. So you just have like just a conga line of one guy sitting back with like loaded guns, and a person would teleport out, grab one, and then teleport back to the fight just endlessly. Because it's cowboy time, so they didn't have to load. Yep. So you just had one guy just constantly back at like the town just loading guns. And like, man, they're just not stopping firing. They're just shooting. JoJo's is cool.
Who's the guy that like shows up tracking Zappelli and like they don't kill him and it makes you think, oh, he'll be back, and then he never comes back?
Fuck, I know who you're talking about and I don't remember. There's a lot about Steel Ball Run like I don't remember.
Same. Steel Ball Run's really long.
It's the longest. I think it's the longest one.
Currently.
Yeah.
but that's
Jojo
hard to say
Leon
with
might get it.
hmm
I'm still waiting for that one to be over. Like, I also fell off. I've just been in the Warhammer hole.
hmm
I've just been watching stuff and really wanting to paint. I went to the game store in town the other day, but it was closed.
Aw.
I was like, man, I wanted. I hope it's one of those things where like it's like I'm worried because I'm like I don't want to discover that this thing exists and during COVID and then it's been closed, like it was birthed and died during COVID and I couldn't do anything.
hmm
And it's like, man, that would suck. I'm gonna actually have to call them next or this week.
Yeah. I mean,
Because-
I remember whenever we used to do like a weekly 40-minute drive to basically go play HeroClix with ourselves because no one else ever played.
Yeah, that's been like because I've been down the miniature wargaming hole, and honestly, like I try to be mature about it, but when I went out to the bank to deposit the $600 check, part one of $2,000 check, that I was like, my brain goes, you could turn that $600 into some tiny plastic men. And it's just, I feel like with me, if I would get into that almost instantly if I knew that there was like a regular play group that was not shitty.
Yeah.
And it can even be sort of shitty, but they can't be like racist or anything. Like that kind of nerd. That kind of nerd.
They can't be Yu-Gi-Oh players.
No, like smelly and like gross. Yeah. But if they're just kind of like dorky, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like I want at least the quality of our fighting game thing. That's it. That's my standard.
Kevin, I don't know. That seems higher than what you just said.
True. That is true. Okay, I want at least the quality of the Books A Million.
There you go.
Like to me, because there was some smell on like the outskirts, but most I would say 90% of those people I would be fine with playing a card game against. Maybe not hanging out with, but playing a card game against, that was fine. That's what I'm looking for. Because I'm not
having a weekly get together is like the most I can see you, and the point isn't even to interact with you personally, but through the miniatures.
Yeah, and it's you know what? I just need someone to talk about Chaos Space Marines with, and you can talk with me about Chaos Space Marines, and then when we're done, we can just say see you next week, and then resume. Yep. It's the classroom friend where you'd see him in class. You really had nothing in common with them, but you could hang out for an hour or do a group project, and that guy's pretty good. That person, they're pretty good. And then you can say like, "See you later," and then you just never talk to them again because you have nothing.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for an hour, and then you just bail. And like that's what I'm looking for.
It's always like you have actual friends that you're hoping to see in class, but that guy's is B tier. He's not terrible.
They're fine.
Like, well, at least I've got you here.
We could complain about like the assignment or school or do a group project, and it's okay.
Occasionally say something insightful about their person that makes you realize they're another human being.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, this person's okay. If we it's like if you liked video games or I liked like ATVs, we'd really hit it off.
Yep. If only the woodpecker size.
Like if that was similar, man, we'd be good pals. But yeah, we're not, and that's kind of what I'm going for. But that's my current Johnson City quest, is trying to find that.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to do during COVID, even in a major city.
Well, that's why I'm starting to look now because I feel like we're gonna eventually hit the point where the vaccines are. My stupid computer, stop. No, don't
Yeah.
switch device. I forgot to wiggle my mouse. So, man, my computer updated, and on like my laptop and my desktop, and what was cool that I appreciated was Windows changed all of my screen go to sleep settings back to default.
Oh.
So I was just like watching a YouTube video and it just turned black and I freaked out. And then 20 minutes later it did it again and I was like, what the hell is this? And I looked and it was like goes to sleep after 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, get out of here.
That sounds like a worse issue. How does it not detect you're watching a YouTube video?
I don't know. It used to do it. Like it used to,
Yeah.
if there was sound and movement, it would not go to sleep. And then it decided, nah, we're gonna revert. Like I don't know, man. It's mostly on my laptop, where like that thing, I feel like every bad Windows thing is just magnified because whenever there is an update out, my laptop is not beefy enough to do things in the background, but Windows is trying to force things in the background, which all it does is make the thing run like shit. When I'm like, please just, if I could just click a button that says while I'm sleeping, just focus on updating. Just download it right now. Don't try to like sneak it during the day.
Somehow I have that on mine. I don't exactly know what I did, but somehow that's what mine is. And like, so I'll go for weeks at a time of it saying, hey, I need to update. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's not happening though.
Like with me, it's just a fucker. It fucks me up. Because like the big computer just does it fine. Because it's beefy enough to update in the background and just be like, hey, I need to install this. It'll take like 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay.
I hate getting the new computer and like that first like hour or whatever you have to spend going through settings and deleting off preloaded apps.
Oh, it's fucking horrible. It's horrible.
I hate hitting the start menu and you see that green W for like free world games or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, damn it. Oh, yeah. Or it's like, here, we've installed Minecraft on your computer. And you're like, no, get that out of here. Or it's like, yo, have you seen this Excel update? And you're like, please stop trying to update the trial version of Microsoft Excel. I'm not using it. And they're like, nah, though. You need it. What about Microsoft Edge? Eh? That one.
Also, why can't I uninstall Microsoft Edge?
Because Microsoft desperately wants you to use their web browser. Desperately.
The most damning thing to me of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies is seeing Peter Parker use Bing.
Oh, that's a funny joke. That's a funny.
That ruined my sense of immersion completely.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here. Get out of here. Man, is it wild when sometimes you're at like a public computer or something and you see the non-ad blocked internet?
Oh, I've just had to get used to it too, just from using my phone.
Oh yeah, like the phone is too, like I try to desperately not look at the internet if at all possible on my phone, but sometimes, you're just trapped. You're trapped somewhere and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, here we go. And then it's just like, why are all of these ads?
Terrible.
It's just ads all the way down.
Yep.
Okay, so I got to talk about before I forget it. Nicolas Cage versus Five Nights at Freddy's, a.k.a. This movie was clearly going to be Five Nights at Freddy's, and then they rejected it for some reason.
Yeah, that's what's weird is why it's not licensed.
So, like,
that is one of the two weird things I have to say about that trailer.
Oh, is the other one that it's like the chicken soup for the soul is like Baker running it or something?
That's the third weird thing
Yeah,
that
because
I
that's
don't
really
understand about.
weird. That's one of like the production things. Is that like chicken soup from the soul or whatever? Investment Corps or whatever is funding that movie.
Yep.
Well, okay, what's number two?
So the other one was that Nicolas Cage is like quiet that whole movie.
Yeah, I don't think he talks
So
other
like
than
yeah,
yelling.
like is he a mute during that movie?
I don't know. He might just like I am for that because it allows him to act maximum acting without yelling, other than yelling. Or I could see him saying something at the very end and him just going like, "Yeah, I don't like talking to people." Like I could see that being a joke, like at the very end of
Yeah.
the film.
Yeah.
Although it'd be really funny if his only line was "fuck you" as he's walking away. I could see that.
As he's killing Willie.
Yeah, but
Weeknights at Willie's.
yeah, my brain is that either the guy who made Five Nights at Freddy's is either an idiot or a genius because he either saw the script that said Nicolas Cage fights all your stuff and he thought that his Five Nights at Freddy's was too good for that, or this movie is complete dog shit and he avoided it.
Yeah.
And it's to me it's like there's no in between. Because to me, that trailer made it look like good, bad Nicolas Cage. Like this is a
Yeah.
bad this is primal level Nicolas Cage where you're like, good. This is exactly the tone I want. When he fucking breaks the broom and just starts screaming and beating up that animatronic, I'm in. And then Doug Dimmadome is there. Great. Yes, I am cautiously optimistic about that one. The real internet thoughts is like how many more Five Nights at Freddy's that aren't Five Nights at Freddy's are going to show up?
Six Nights at Sally's.
Like are we going to get like is this the first one and then there's going to be like another two or something?
So if this one is okay, I couldn't tell if this would have come to theaters if it wasn't COVID times or not.
I feel like this one would have probably come out around Halloween if it was normal production schedule.
Well, okay, maybe, but there's also like January to like March is also kind of like a horror movie block.
Yeah, it's the
for
dumping
some reason.
ground. Well,
So
it's because it's the dumping ground where you just kind of like you
Yeah.
don't the blockbusters are in the summer and then near the fall you kind of get the horror family kind
Oscar
of
bait.
the Oscar baits, and then in like the Januaries you get the trash, which
Yeah.
which let's be honest, that's like most horror movies, like 80% of them.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was gonna say based on that of that's one of those things where I just don't know. Obviously, how many Five Nights at Freddy ripoffs we get will depend on.
The success.
Yeah. So like, if it went to theaters, it might have had. We might have seen more.
Yeah, but it could do well because it feels like the buzz on it is way more positive, at least from the internet community of like, yeah, no, this is great. It's also beating it to the punch could be fascinating because it's like your concept basically gets done before your movie or whatever. Because if memory,
like with Dread and what's the like East Asian
the Raid.
The Raid, yeah.
Or even just like, because if memory serves, like the Five Nights at Freddy movie has been in like development hell. It's one of those where like you would think that it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, and I say this as someone who's ignorant of like theater contracts and shit. So who knows? And I do respect that the guy who's doing Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm just giving him like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but is trying not to get fucked over by a studio, and turns out he signed over the license to everything he owns in like a movie script or something, which is possible. But it's one of those things where it's like you're like, yeah, that game would make a very, like, the transition from that to movie, like Blumhouse horror movie, is fairly easy. It'd be like that game Phantasmaphoria or whatever. That's just ghost hunters.
Yeah.
It's like someone making that a movie, and you could see it because it's like, yeah, it's just the format is there. You know, I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that the format, like I am confident we can make a serviceable horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not having to reinvent the wheel. It's kind of like what it's our opinion on live action animes, where you go for the shit like the sports movie, because we can make a sports movie and you don't need to have like CG to make your sports movie look good.
Yep.
Whereas like, it's like, yeah, if you tried to make Mass Effect or something into a Hollywood movie, that could go real bad. But if you want to make like a couple people go into if you wanted to make the Among Us movie, you could probably do it. We've already done, that's like The Thing. One of the maps in that thing is just The Thing. So you just have people wearing like spacesuits. That's it.
Yep, that's what The Thing is, already the Among Us movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's what I would do. If I had to make the Among Us movie, I would just make The Thing, and I would make it set sort of like, I'd make some of the spaceships and some of the background elements look vaguely like the game.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all it needs to be. It'd be real, like, I'd say it'd be really simple, but like, you still have to make a movie, which is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about trying to make your own movie?
Yeah.
What do you have any? Do you want to tell the podcast what any of the Drew films would be?
Not really. Typically, ones I think of are like, well, this movie sucked, and here's how it could have been better.
Oh, I do that a lot.
But I don't have like any actual,
like, movies.
Yeah, I don't have any actual. I need a good script first.
I just, like, in my brain, I'll have scenes of stuff where, like, man, I should do that. Like, one of my films was just ripping off, one of my brain films was just ripping off Cube, but set in my apartment, where you get trapped in like an infinite apartment. And
Silent Hill 4 and Silent Hill The Room.
Yeah, exactly.
Silent Hill and PT.
But the reason why you couldn't just leave and escape is because the neighbor's mean dog has turned infinite due to like the grand like time vortex. So like you open the door and there's just infinite tiny evil dog. And you can't go out there because you got to solve the problem. 'Cause that's one of the things that scares me. That happened to me when I was leaving my apartment the other day, where
the dog.
No, there's just some little tiny dog running around, and it ran into my garage and it freaked me out.
Yeah, it's always fun. And then like the owner wants to act like it's your fault. They're not controlling their dog.
No, this is just like a stray dog. It didn't have it was just like a random ass dog. It ran in and then it ran out, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then it just kind of was wandering around like the dumpster. And my brain was like, if that dog had a collar, I might try to like catch it if it was friendly.
I lost you, Kevin.
Oh, you lost me? Am I back?
If that dog had a collar.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that dog had a collar and was not growling at me, I would have tried to get it to where it's home.
Yeah.
But it had no identification, so I'm not going to try to deal with that. I'm not gonna get bit by some tiny dog and then have to get a rabies shot. Not in COVID times. I already have 2 shots that are gonna on the way, and I don't like shots. I can take shots, I just don't like them. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, whenever I had strep or whatever, and they'd say, do you want like the 10 days of medicine or the shot? I'm just saying, just give me the shot.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I don't like shots.
I can pretty well deal with them. I can't deal with looking at them go in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what I do is I close my eyes and I look away, and then I take the shot, and it's fine. But I just don't like it.
Yeah.
The thing that really gets me the worst, that I've never almost not thrown up and sometimes have thrown up, is whenever they get the popsicle stick tongue depressor and they push my tongue down. Always makes me gag, if not puke. I can't stand it. Don't like that one. Don't like the little dentist thing where it's like a metal hook and they poke your teeth. I don't like that one either.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one.
I don't like it. Not a fan. Like, I'm okay with the spinny one. I don't like the pick. Bothers me. Did you see the King of... we already talked about the King of Fighters trailer.
Yeah, they put out a trailer for just Shun'ei, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of like nothing.
Seems like they're going to be doing weekly trailers for characters.
Yeah.
They also... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, they also... It looks a little bit better. It looks better than 14.
Yeah. They also have confirmed Samurai Showdown is coming to the new Xbox.
That's good.
And Season 3 is also going to have balance changes.
That's pretty good. I just need to know if it'll work. That's all. That's kind of like, and just please work or not. Magic's doing some cool shit. There's an uncommon guy that makes all your death touches give poison counters.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I'm gonna make that deck even though it's not very good in 1v1. Because, like in the commander or whatever formats, we have 40 life poison counters really good. But in standard Magic, it's not too good because it's like if you could deal 10 points of whatever, that's like half life anyway. You're already like,
yep.
Why do you need that much? Unless you're going for like the 1-turn kill, where you make that 10/10 creature give poison counters, and now you just kill them from nowhere.
Yep.
But and I'm like, that's pretty neat. Kaldheim looks neat. I'm digging it. I'm digging what they're throwing down. I like it. I got pickles from the store.
I heard.
Yeah, I like pickles. It's nice to have a pickle with your meal.
I like pickles on the side. I don't like pickles on the sandwich.
I agree. I think pickles like on a sandwich is generally a little too overpowering, but on the side it's kind of like the palate cleanser. It's like you eat your burger, you eat a bite of your sandwich, then you have a pickle, and then you get your chips, and then you have a bite of pickle, and then you go back. Like, throw that in there.
If you're eating pickle at that pace, Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, you can spice it up. Sometimes you have 2 bites of pickle. Sometimes you just kind of like you want a different flavor, so you just eat all the pickle. Like halfway through, you're just like, here, let me get some crunchy sour just randomly in there, and you're like, oh, that's some pretty good crunchy sour, and then you go back to whatever. I'm down with it. Let me know if I'm forgetting about any events or anything.
I Oh, Capcom Pro Tour has been canceled.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everything canceled.
Yeah, like they were gonna have it at the end of February, like the, final, the final tournament, and they unfortunately decided to call it off.
Well, that's gonna happen. Oh yeah, Pokemon Snap got announced.
Yep.
They're showing some stuff about Pokemon Snap. I really liked Pokemon Snap. I hope this new game, like my tweet, I said, is longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, that first one. But that's kind of nice about the first one, is it was like arcadey. Like you were supposed to replay it like that.
And well, I mean, in and to that point, it was a damn good 3 hours. Like that game from start to finish is a joy.
Yeah.
It is delightful, but it is also like 3 hours long. Which
Yeah.
I feel like if in the new era of video game where maybe if Pokemon Snap was not full price, I think like if it was half priced or something,
Yeah.
then I think like the length is not an issue, and everyone's like, nah, it's great. Cause I really enjoyed Pokemon Snap. I hope the new one's fine.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I will say Twitter's been really interesting post the purge. It feels better. I mean, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, like it's suddenly going to a bar that isn't a Nazi bar feels better. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, like you're there and you're like, man, this is just pretty good. It's like it's still kind of shitty, but it's like less shitty.
Yeah.
Um, what else am I thinking about? Uh, still, still, still doing Warcraft. It's okay. It's a good socializer.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's its biggest point. I think it's one of those where if I did have the mythical tabletop wargaming crew,
You wouldn't need Warhammer or
well,
Warcraft.
no. But because I got nothing, I need something. I just need people to talk to.
Yep.
And that's close enough because I'm not doing VR chat or whatever. It's too scary.
ASL.
Yeah. Yeah, I say 18FCA.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. you go down to that chat. Oh god. Oh, I'm just seeing where my mind wanders
Yeah.
because it's just kind of like I've been actually watching like because do you have because I'm just gonna not do an official things of the year whatever 2020 because we just can't. So
Yeah.
in the spirit of 2020, it's just kind of random. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to something you saw in 20 last year?
I don't think I saw any new movies last
Or just
year.
anything of note.
I'm trying to think.
It can't even have to be last year.
You should. I should have like given me this ahead of time, Kevin.
All right, we'll just think about it in the future. What do you think about Giant Bomb where like Abby and Ben are leaving?
Oh, is Ben leaving too?
Yes.
I don't want to say it, but I'm kind of happy.
I don't. it's weird to me because
Like,
I don't want to be
I
like I hate them, but I'm not sad to see them go, if that makes sense.
me neither. And like it's not even I hate all the new people. I really enjoy Jan whenever he's around, but anytime I see a video segment and it has Ben on it, I just tend not to watch it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's like I'm
And
trying. This is
I was
my.
I was okay with Abby, but I don't know if that's just where I listen to the Beastcast more than the Bombcast. Like I was acclimated to her.
Like I'll be real. I kind of fell off of their stuff because of those two.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off real bad, and I don't want to be like hateful or mean, because like
Yeah.
they are, and I wish them the best, but I kind of dropped off completely because of them.
Yeah.
And it maybe get some new people in there.
Yeah. Maybe you, Kevin.
Oh God, that'd be terrible. I'd be terrible. I can barely talk like this. I can barely do this podcast. It'd be bad.
Apply anyway. What's the worst that happens?
That's true. My taste in games would be different.
Yep.
I could. Oh God, it'd be.
But still complimentary.
Going in there being like, hey, you want to know about I don't know, like I'm even trying, like, because I've thought about, like, I'm sure like most people have dreamed about, who have low dreams, like, man, I'd be like interviewed or be a member of like some like video game podcast. And I'd be like, yeah, and it's me. And they'd be like, man, Kevin, what do you think about the new Final Fantasy game? And I'd be like, well, let me tell you about it, because I played it. I like those games. Let's talk about Disgaea. That game's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I can have the internet chat saying, I hate this Kevin guy. He sucks. He's a faker.
I dropped off watching Giant Bomb around the time Kevin joined.
Oh, that'd be sick. Oh, I'd love it.
Like, I don't know, Giant Bomb just keeps managing. They had Patrick Klepit. They always have someone that's like, why?
Yeah. Well,
Why do you have this person?
I think it's just, I don't know. There's always, and it's not, and we're not saying that it's because they're the SJW, because that's fine. There's plenty of people that are good that have decent social views. It's just that the person themselves is not cohesive for a video game website.
Yep.
You can be like, it's kind of like what I'm trying to get at with Abby and Ben, where you can be a good person, but you can also be not great for a video game news talk website. If anything, that makes you a better person. So, like, I'm complimenting you by saying you like, really, you don't need to talk about video games. You can go into the world, spread your wings, and fly like a butterfly. Yeah, I would not be good on Giant Bomb because my thoughts aren't there. I think people, if I were to go, you would say, look at dumb Dan Reichert. And yes, I know what that sounds like, and that would be me. Or all the power of Dan Reichert with none of the charisma. So it's just me up there being like, hey gang, I watched Warhammer and the Chaos Space Marine Codex came out and everyone's just dying.
So see, to me, Dan Riker never had charisma.
Well, that's his stat though. Like, how Dan gets through life is that he has a high charisma stat.
Not to me.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying in general. Like, you're immune. You pass all the saves. And I respect the audacity. I genuinely respect the audacity. And I really thought it was funny he got married at the Taco Bell. That's funny. It's that kind of effort of the something stupid I really appreciate. I'm just too lazy. I'm very lazy. That's my problem. That's my sin. Is I'm fucking lazy. Always tired. I've been tired for like 6 months. Man, every day it's harder to get out of bed. You having that problem?
No.
When like it feels like I stay up too late because I want to have something like my own time, and then I fall asleep, and I'm like, ah, shit, I fell asleep again, and then I hurt my neck, and then I have to go put Kitty up because I have to put her up in her room because she was asleep on the couch and she ain't gonna wake me up.
Nope.
So I gotta put her up, and then I gotta go to bed, and then I wake up and I'm just staring at the wall, and I'm like, I can't get out of bed. And then I have to get out of bed and I'm miserable. And then that's the day.
See, I've never had an issue. I like going to bed.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, I like going to bed.
I hate it. I hate going to bed and I hate waking up.
Like going to bed and I first pull the blanket over me, like I get so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm like warm and like now I get to go to sleep and this is fantastic.
See, to me, like it's always like I get there and the covers are like slightly cold and I'm like, God, I hate this. I'm not comfortable, and then I'm kind of upset, and then I go to bed, and then in the morning I've gotten comfortable during the night, and I'm like, fuck, it's the wrong order.
Yep.
I guess I need to do 20 minutes of stretches before I go to bed. So I can
do that.
Yeah, and then drink my warm milk. My glass of warm milk.
Nice calisthenics and a nice glass of warm milk.
Then I go to sleep like a baby, and then I wake up the next day completely refreshed and fatigue-free.
Yep.
I love Yosakage
Then
Kira.
run a mile.
Yosakage Kira is the fucking best. I love him as a villain. I just...
Yeah.
Because his motivations are so small.
Yeah, I just want to live a quiet life and just murder whoever I want.
Occasionally murder a new woman once my current girlfriend's hand has gone rotten. That's it. Yep. It's one of those it's like that's it. That's all I want to do.
Huh?
It's not so bad. I want to go to this thing and get the good sandwich, and then just watch the sun. Like it's so good. The motivations are so small. I'm a big fan of grand villain with just astronomically small motivation. Like the pettiest shit. Because I feel like if I were like a super villain or whatever, like I wouldn't need to conquer the world. I would want to be like, I just want the good cheddar round.
Yep.
That's it. And you'd be like, all of this is for that? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm evil. I'm gonna do it just to do some like very petty thing. I don't need to do that. That's what makes me evil.
Yep. It's oh man, the hunting fox. Now there's a guy who's like actually evil.
Yeah. Then he gave up. I'll be a bandit.
It's like, oh well. That's part of running the long con.
Sometimes the long con fails out. You know, I'm pretty strong. I can be like a bandit. You know?
Yep, and also I got the night and morning here.
Yeah. Things are gonna be okay. And he just it's like, you motherfucker.
I never want to see your face again.
I hate you so much. I love it. God, that's still that's in April. I'm excited.
Me too.
Man, is it weird? Okay, how hard I've dropped off of anime because we're not watching it every Saturday.
No, because I've dropped off the exact same.
like just dropped it off. Like
Yep.
I just it has to basically it has to be a show the caliber of Thunderbolt Fantasy to get me to go, okay, I gotta watch it.
Yep. But the problem is I have no one that I trust to give me a recommendation like that. They're gonna be like, oh, this one, yeah, this one's real good, and then you watch it, and it's like Tinchy universe quality.
No,
It's like it's not bad, but it's like, come on, man, come on.
well, it's like you're seeing the show. Like I'll see talk. Well, it's like there's a whole big talk about Demon Slayer Yaiba. Like everyone loved that show, and I don't think that show, like from what we watched, it's not bad. It is not bad, but I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it because it's not like outstanding.
No, I feel the same way about it that I felt about My Hero Academia, where like
Yeah,
I watched it.
those are equivalents.
Yeah, to me, where it's like, it is not bad. It is completely serviceable. And I would dare say, if you've never seen like a Shonen Jump anime before, your mind is blown. Because you're like, holy shit, this is incredible. But I've seen a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it's just a good one of those.
Yeah, I do not get that series was far and away the number one selling series of 2020,
Yeah,
and I don't understand.
I think it's because they realize that if we make a good anime, people will become interested in the manga.
I
Or,
don't know, man.
like what if
What if
all
One Piece
of
had quality?
I was gonna say, what if all of One Piece looked like the Wano arc?
What if all of Dragon Ball Z looked like Dragon Ball?
Yeah. What if I thought you were gonna say what if
Okay,
all of
did
Dragon
it-
Ball Z was good? I was gonna
Yeah.
clap and be like, yeah, I see.
But like, okay, do you remember watching Dragon Ball Z and at some point they turned down the saturation on Super Saiyan hair?
Yes.
Did it bother you as much as it bothered me?
Well, it okay. So my brain always rationalized it that Super Saiyan hair only looked good when it was like when the aura was around him. Like,
See, my rationalization was it was showing they had gotten more comfortable in Super Saiyan.
yeah, because I know what you're saying. Like whenever there's a clear difference when Super Saiyan is just like a kind of a blondish blob with no definition, and then they power up and you see all the definition in there. And I was always like, nah, that's just powering up. You look better when you
But
power up.
also like coloring. It used to at one point it was like highlighter yellow, and then at some point it just became like off white.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. 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 Like, oh man, that bothered me.
Yeah.
That did bother me. Cause I like it was supposed to be golden, not like platinum blonde.
Yeah.
Like that's not the look.
Also, I like that Toriyama's bit on record saying the only reason his hair changed color is that way his inker didn't have to like spend as much time coloring hair in.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's great. It's great. I think that's also part of like, I think it may be me being old anime man, where I've seen like really really good animes to the point where I'm like I don't feel the need to watch more things as much.
Yeah.
Like listen, I've seen Outlaw Star, Utena, like Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell. Like you gotta hit that hard for me to be interested in. I've seen all the classics. We've seen Ninja Scroll. You know? Like you either gotta be really good or you gotta hit at a really good time on Netflix when I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll watch this show.
Yeah.
That really helps.
Like I watched, Keep Your Hands Off Izoken, and I enjoyed it, but like it didn't hit super hard or anything on me.
I didn't watch it.
And like
I probably would like it if I did. I just don't feel the need.
I still haven't watched Tokyo Sinks.
I
It's like
didn't.
probably the next thing I'm gonna watch, but
I One day I'll watch Madoka Magica. It's on my
I don't know that
Netflix
I ever
queue.
will.
It just
I
keeps
don't know
looking
that I
at
ever
me.
will.
Like, but then like whenever I'm like, okay, it's nighttime, I'm gonna watch something, and then the Tabletop Tactics channel puts up a new battle report where
Yep, or
as
Marlon
these
Pie puts up new Marvel 3 videos.
where, to quote another guy, that these two guys on Tabletop Tactics were probably like the most watched Warhammer video, and they actually have like sponsorships with like the Games Workshop, are offensively British. And you're watching them and you're like, yay! Like they're talking out, they're using all like the Warhammer talks because it is British, so they're calling them like lieutenants. And you're like, yay. And they're explaining the rules, so you don't even need to know everything. They're like, my guy has a 4-up save because of his vengeance aura. That means I can hit on a 3. And you're like, oh, thank you.
All right, come on, 3.
And then you watch him and you go, come on, 3. And then he gets like snake eyes. It goes, ah! And you're like, oh, no. And then he tries to re-roll it, and then the re-roll doesn't work either. And you're like, oh, no. And I'm like, yay. And then it's time for bed. I'm like, well, maybe next time I'll watch some anime. Yeah, I think anime is the weirdest thing to me as something that I was the most into, and now I'm like mostly out.
You want to start doing a watch party?
Nah.
I agree. I don't even want to like look at the current season.
No, like that's the thing. I'm like, oh, nah. I think and it sounds stupid, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. Where it feels like I'm done with anime, like I completed it. Watching Utena made me feel like, yep, I'm done.
I did it.
I finished anime.
The stuff I want to watch is like the not easy to find streaming stuff. Like there's Shin-Chan movies I want to watch.
Oh, I mean, and that's not to say that like there's still shit that's gonna come out and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'll make time for it. Like I'll watch season 2 of Beastars. I really liked Beastars. I want to see where that goes. But it's like instead of watching like everything a season, I'm now watching like 1 or 2 things a year.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch Thunderbolt. I'll watch Beastars. I didn't watch like Baki, and I kind of liked it. Like that, Grappler Baki is the kind of show that when I was still trying to finish anime, that I would keep up with. But now, having finished anime, I don't need to. There's also like there is some sort of things where it's sort of like maybe it's because of I've gotten into like visual novels and shit. Not like gotten into them, but I've played like 999 and like Danganronpa, where that shit is like basically just anime. And I feel like, why watch a season of an anime when I can play a game that I know has an ending? It's not gonna be like, here's season 1 of whatever, and then season 2 doesn't happen. It's like, nah, Danganronpa has an ending. The Somnium Files has an ending. It's written, has a beginning and an ending, and you watch the ending, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good. Ties everything together.
Yep. Or worse yet, it has a satisfying ending, and then they announce season 2, and you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. That kind of happened with Danganronpa, and they did. Oh man, Danganronpa did some shit that like half the Danganronpa community fucking hates, and then I'm in the half that love it. So, spoilers for Danganronpa V3. So they did Danganronpa 1 and 2, and then they did the anime, which is technically Danganronpa 3, and then they announced Danganronpa V3. And in the course of V3, they said, what does the V stand for? And like the producer was like, it's like victory. But in actuality, the V is the Roman numeral for 50. So you're playing Danganronpa 53. And it turns out that all the other Danganronpas were like actually fictional. And the grand twist was that you were basically in the real world. Like MTV's The Real World, but anime.
Yeah.
Because that's what the horrible future needed. It needed real anime. Because regular anime wasn't enough. And I'm like, that's great. I loved it. And they're like, yeah, this is what happens. And the final boss is that the fans were upset that that was the twist. So you're seeing like internet posts of like, this twist is stupid. I don't like it. That's what you have to defeat. I'm like, that's great. It had the near meta ending. Where the ending was fuck you to the fans. And I'm like, I love it. Anyway. That's the end of that for today.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't. Actually, no, I did. I enjoyed it. If you think that we should try to go for New Game Plus on anime, you leave a comment.
Send us your recommendations.
Yeah, and I won't look at them. Because I'll be like, okay, it has to compare positively to Outlaw Star and Utena.
Okay, no, first off, if you're sending us recommendations, which I encourage, also send us your favorite anime too, so we can see what wavelength we're on.
Yeah.
I don't want someone saying, oh, you need to watch this, this, and this, and my favorite anime is Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, get that out of here. Get that shit out of here.
I can't imagine. You know those people exist.
Oh, of course they do. Man, I tried to watch one isekai. I watched that slime
That time
show.
they got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah.
That one got new episodes.
Well, fuck it, because I bailed. I bailed when, like, the demon, like, teenager girl who doesn't want to wear pants shows up. I'm like, fuck you. And I stopped watching it.
I read the time I got reincarnated as Yamcha.
That one's pretty good, though. That's a good isekai. It also pissed me off in that show. Whenever you'd have, like, the monster people, and whenever the monster people would upgrade, like, the male monster one, like, it was the lizard people. Whenever, like, the male monster mans upgraded, they turned into, like, dragon men. And when the lady lizard people upgraded, they just turned into anime ladies.
Yep, that sounds right.
And you're like, fuck you. like, I'm not, listen, I ain't gonna get on that furry train. But you're cowards. Like, don't be a coward.
Kevin, that's a scaly train, not a furry train.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the
Scaly Squad is very different.
I'm sorry. But they're cowards. Like, you're coward. You just this, you can have them as like a drag. It's one of those things where, like, you can have your sexy fantasy race, but they don't all need to be that way.
Yep.
I know that for the audience, the intended audience, they do, but I'm just saying, for me, they
Look,
don't.
that dragon in Shrek has some pretty eyes.
Yeah, I need it. But at least that dragon in Shrek looked like a dragon.
Yep.
Like, it didn't turn into, like, a sexy lady.
Sure didn't.
Like, that would be Isekai Shrek, where it'd be like the dragon comes down and then they solve the curse and it just turns into like a sexy bikini lady and everyone's confused.
Yep.
You're like, this got really gross.
That time I got reincarnated as Shrek.
Oh, that'd be sick. I'm in. I'd watch that anime. Using all my knowledge of Shrek and video games, I can defeat Farquaad early. I can tell Fiona, yo, ogre good. And then everything goes wild.
Yep.
Okay, that's our pitch for if they want to reboot Shrek. Is at that time I was reincarnated as Shrek, where some guy's walking down the street, he gets hit by a car, and he wakes up as Shrek. I'm in. I'm gonna leave. Bye.
Bye.